Profesori Amerikan Edward Joseph i konsideron të papranueshme deklarimet e presidentit të Serbisë se nuk do të zbatojë të plot marrëveshjen e Brukselit dhe aneksin e saj që u arrit në Ohër. Eksperti i politikës së jashtme dhe njohësi shumë i mirë i Ballkanit konsideron se Kosova e Serbia nuk janë afër marrëveshjes finale. Në një intervistë për KosovaPress, Joseph deklaron se liderët e Kosovës duhet të mendojnë edhe për pasojat e mbajtjes së zgjedhjeve në veri të para të mbohen të dielën e ardhshme.
What would damage Kosovo? Some kind of game that Serbia wants to have some kind of confrontation. Think about that. What would benefit Aleksandar Vučić the most? He would benefit the most from if the elections are held and then there's incidents, but we have KFOR, we have to look to KFOR to address that. Hopefully they would address that. But that's one way they would benefit. The other way is he would benefit possibly if elections are held and almost no Serbs vote. So he would benefit. Belgrade would be the benefit from that. See, look at this. This is a farce. They're not listening to the people. The people didn't come out and vote. So the Kosovo leaders need to think about that. Think about the consequences of that and the benefit in Belgrade to that kind of a thing. And it's very bad. The first words of Aleksandar Vučić after Ohrid should be, I encourage Kosovo Serbs to return to the institutions and participate in elections. And then he could say, and if Kosovo doesn't fulfill its obligations, well, then I will review our commitments. He could say that. And that would be fair to say, okay, if they don't do their part, then I will. But he's been negative from the past, from the beginning, and we have negativity here.
Profesori Amerikan nga Universiteti Johns Hopkins, Edward Joseph thot për KosovaPress se marrëveshja e Ohrit është e rëndësishme, mirë po ka shumë pengesa.
The atmosphere is very negative here, and it will require real, serious engagement by U.S. and EU to achieve. And so, for me, I agree with all of that, and I think it's very important to respect the potential in this agreement, along with the risks and the problems in the agreement, the ambiguity in the agreement, the gaps in the agreement. But it's important not to dismiss the agreement.
Eksperti për politikë të jashtme nuk beson se Kosova e Serbia janë afër marrëveshjes finale.
No, unfortunately, that's not the case. And I've written this. It's really the problems are complicated, but the actual origin is very straightforward, in my view. So, in my view, this is all this continued problem and all of these tensions with Serbia and this long, protracted problem. And I would point out a quote here where that was mentioned from one of our colleagues in Belgrade that was agreed by a colleague here in Kosovo, was that Kosovo Serbs are hostages, held hostages by Belgrade. So this is very important. The real problem here is the fact Kosovo is not recognized by EU and all EU members and all NATO members. If it were, then everything would be different. There would be a different pathway here, and there would be a much smoother relationship with Serbia, and there would be recognition. But that's not the reality. So we have to deal with the reality the way it is.
Për më tepër, Joseph thekson se Kosova nuk do arritë të antarësohet në NATO dhe Bashkimin Evropian pa integrimin e plotë të serbëve.
Kosovo will not achieve its full standing and acceptance and potential in NATO, in European Union, without the Kosovo Serb community. Because we do not want to divide Kosovo and have separate and have more population movements and problems then in North Macedonia and in Montenegro and in Bosnians. We don't want any more of that. That's what Putin wants. This is what Putin wants in Ukraine. I'll take the territory of Ukraine. So that's the task. It's the task of the government, and it's the task of the citizens here to understand and to have good relations with Kosovo Serbs and understand they are equal citizens. Equal citizens here. They have same rights as any citizen, and we have to ensure that Kosovo has its rights, and that Kosovo is not pressured by Serbia, that the North is not manipulated by Belgrade, creating tensions, and we have to move forward that elections take place in the North, and that Serbs return to Kosovo institutions.
Deklarata të papranueshme i konsideron deklarimet e presidentit të Serbisë, Aleksandar Vuçiqit, që thotë se nuk do zbatoj pjesët e marrëveshjes që kanë të bëjnë me anëtarësimin e Kosovës në Kombet e Bashkuara.
These kind of comments are completely unacceptable because the agreement is, according to EU and US, this is legally binding. And the agreement itself, one of the provisions in the agreement says all provisions are equally binding, words to that like that. So the agreement itself emphasizes that. So you cannot just pick, we'll do this provision of the agreement, this obligation, but not that obligation. So these are very negative comments, very negative remarks, and we need positive atmosphere in Serbia. We need a positive atmosphere in Kosovo, and here, US and EU need to take it seriously. They need to really push forward. They cannot just let this go.
Kosova dhe Serbia janë pajtuar më 18 mars në orë për aneksin e zbatimit të marrëveshjes që është arritur në Bruksel, ani pse nuk ka pasur nënshkrim të saj. Në kuadër të saj, palët janë pajtuar për të miratuar deklaratat për personat e zhdukur, e po ashtu për të zbatuar në një shtat që Kosova të nisë menjëherë negociatat në kuadër të dialogut për përcaktimin e aranjimeve dhe garancive specifike që sigurojnë një nivel të duhur të vetë menaxhimit për komunitetin serb në Kosovë.